Fantastic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, they're about to open a new bar in London called Oriele. Is that right? Previously worked at Niger in London, one of the greatest cocktail bars in the world. I'm sure Oriele will also be just as great. I present to you Mr. Luca Cinalli.
So guys, it has been a little bit a long day for you, so I'll try to make it as sharp as I can, as quick as I can, but I like to give to you all the information we brought for you today, all the drinks. Before I start to talk about the drinks, I like to know a little bit more about you, because if I don't know my customer, I won't put off a presentation, a drink, or whatever it's going to be in the next 45 minutes. So, what's my customer today? I mean, what's your job, if I may ask? Do I have a bartender today?
Of course.
Bartenders, just bartenders, or bar owners as well?
Bar owners.
Few bar owners?
Hay un dueño de un bar por aquí.
Yeah, okay. All of you work in Spain, Portugal, or some of you... Russia is good. Somewhere else? Europe? Spain mainly. Okay. Great. Why I'm asking, I think it's good enough anyway, I'm not gonna bore you or something. Why I'm asking, because what we do today is something I need you to make sure you do understand. Something works in Niger, in London. So I'm not here, I'm the lucky one of our team because I'm here representing the bar. I'm also representing the bar because it's what we do in London because of our customer. So that's why today I brought 3-4 drinks to show you how we can improve, how we can suit the style, in this case London, Niger. So what I did for you today, what we did, because eventually it's not my work, it's everybody works behind Niger, we create, let's say, 4 drinks. Those 4 drinks, we're gonna go through on techniques, style, GP, so costes, we're gonna go emotions of the customers. Emotions, it's something we do read. Customers, they don't know. We read them. So we give them what they're looking for in a lot of cases. So when we're talking about emotions, when we're talking about drinks, when we're talking about experience, it is a job. It can be done a little during the service, but it is a job. It has to be done before preparation or when we are not working, studying and researching. That's very simple, the way how we do, and I believe the way we all do. We're gonna start with a drink which is very simple, which is a style of Negroni. Now, when we're talking about these classic drinks, because we know Negroni, our customers, they do know Negroni as well, so they would expect something different, because in many of our lists, we don't have, in many of our cocktail lists, we don't have the Negroni on the list, because it's a classic. Obviously we can make it, but we can replicate the flavor of Negroni or similar style of drink, an aperitivo, a bittersweet, a typical Mediterranean flavor palate style in a different way. So today I brought as idea mushroom. So looking on mushroom, we looked on texture, we looked on savory, we looked on few facts of the mushroom. Obviously, mushroom has got a very unique flavor, which is earthiness. Another earthiness drink spirits, it is tequila. So we're gonna introduce maybe tequila with our Negroni style. So I'm gonna pour a measure of tequila. Then we're going to add, 1 second, let's do this first. We're gonna add our Cavalli. Then, because as Tom did mention, I'm not currently working in Niger anymore because we're just opening a second venue. The second venue, it will be slightly similar to Niger, but different concept. When I say different concept, it's going to be a little bit more Asian looking style. So it's going to be colonial. South Pacific colonial design the and drinks. So for this Negroni, I did add tequila, Campari, I'm gonna add a little bit of sake. Sake also is gonna bring a bit of softness to the drink, as a lot of English customers, they don't like this bitter sweet of Campari. So I need to compromise their flavor. We're talking about Asia, Negroni as well. Negroni is something for an aperitivo. We do know aperitivo always works with food, so in this case we got our mushroom salty tincture. And then, of course, talking about tequila. You know, tequila is a country of sweet, like Mexico. Also, they got a lot of marzipan, so we made our marzipan grappa, because I wanted to bring a bit of spirits inside. Flavor, they keep together when there is a good amount of alcohol, because alcohol keeps flavor. So we got our sweet, beautiful almondy and savory as well. We're gonna give it a quick stir. So for this drink, we do representing the aperitivo style. So thinking about aperitivo style, for me it would be quite easy because I'm from Italy, so I do know what's aperitivo. Aperitivo is also something very quick. Something you have in your mixing glass, something you have in your glass, something they order, it goes straight away outside. Aperitivo is something also quite complex on the glass, because you got your infusions, your sweetness, your bitter, your alcohol, so everything also happening already inside the glass. Let's add a little bit more sweetness, as it's just over lunch, so we want a little bit more sweet. Now, thinking about the experience of the customer, what we did, we just did a mushroom glass. Again, simple, easy to have it. It looks like a Collins old fashioned, a little bit starting with the Collins, and then it's opening like old fashioned. Again, we're looking for a little experience, so maybe we can help the base of the glass with an ice. Between many ices, we found these shapes, which is a rose. And this is quite slim, which will fit perfectly inside of our mushroom, which is going to be only the cooling agent. You will sit there, nice and easy, and we keep our drink cold. To add a bit of color and seasonal, we can add a Japanese style of mushrooms. We have few colors. What we have today is just very simple raw mushroom. So again, talking about maybe sake Japanese, the simplicity with the freshness, you will compromise your presentation. So again, it's a Negroni. We never forget the zest. Bird is very common for Nigeria. It's a bird. It's very common for the Asian culture. They do a lot of origami as well. So again, that would be something very easy and aperitivo. We're showing off the freshness of the food of an aperitivo. It's a Negroni, light style, because it's got sake and this almond marzipan grappa. So that will be our Negroni as a first. Please, of course, with this theory, you can drink straight away from the glass if you want. With a theory like this, you can Negroni. It's a cocktail which everybody can personalize, even garnish. It goes through the season. So the Shege mushrooms, it's a seasonal. Just now, you won't find it on spring or something. So of course, then we will change it. Again, we're talking about efficiency, we're talking about prep. Only the ice needed prep. It's only alcohol inside, so if the bar gets very busy, we can all premix. We can premix everything, it will be even easy, no dilution, quick stirring, and then ready to serve. So we create a little cocktail list for you. We're gonna move something a little bit more sour. So as a sour is something customer they would understand straight away it is a whiskey sour. So we're gonna replicate our whiskey sour. So a good shot of whiskey. Then instead of whiskey we're gonna add an Amaro. It's an Amaro mix. Now talking about whiskey and talking about Amaro, something always missing in Amaro is the smokiness, which a lot of whiskey does have smoke. How does it come the smoke through the whiskey? Through the peat and the barley. So what we did, because obviously in a bar, maybe like Niger or maybe other bars, which you have a lot of expenses here to run your business, we asked the whiskey distillery to provide us a smoked barley, so a peated barley. So again, if we're looking for GP, they helped us to promote their whiskey through an infusion of Amaro peated barley. We are not peating by ourselves, we just get it from them. So again, it is sort of adjustment, you can have it in your menu through the help of the brands in this case. So this is an Amaro slightly peated, which will have the whiskey as well. Again, syrup. In this case, our syrup, it's baked. So what we do with this syrup, because I think these products, they have a lot of bakery flavor. We grated a biscuits, oat biscuits. Oat in Scotland is very common. Porridge, which is oat base, is something very common on the English palate. So we get oat biscuits, dust it, cook it slightly with water and sugar, and we have our oat baked syrup. Again, it's still a whiskey sour, sweet. Bitters is the Amaro. I did not add any sugar syrup because Amaro is sweet enough. Lemon juice, fresh. I'm not going to add any egg white because I think the drink is quite heavy enough. It's got Amaro, it's got baked sugar. Nice, fresh. I get the water out. And again, it can be quite complex on the taste, but then also it can be quite simple on preparation. Let me get it a little bit sweeter for you. I find slightly sour now. Really quick shake. We don't want to overshake it. Again, talking about whiskey sours, talking about whiskey, talking about Amaro, it does connect our brain straight away to New York sour. A lot of customers nowadays, they're asking more New York sours than whiskey sours because it just gets back on the fashion. New York sours has got slightly a problem. If we don't have the right amount of egg white and sugar, the red wine won't float. So what we did, we took the red wine and we put as a jelly. How do we do this? We cook the red wine because it's a New York sour, it's American market. Every time they're using red wine, they're actually using for barbecue. Red wine freeze, you kill all the flavors. So to announce a bit of flavors, we heated up red wine, thinking about New York sour, USA, barbecue, and we add spice, barbecue spice, which you use for the mix. Again, you cook gelatin, put inside a glass, cling film, ups and down, and then it gets nice on top. So this is our layer of red wine on top. Very simple, it will take 3-4 hours. The whole, I just did it with my knife. So even the way how to prepare the glass, this is a soapstone, it's a whiskey tasting glass. So it keeps the temperature very, very well. Again, people they're expecting in UK to drink whiskey sour a lot of times with straw. It's a jelly, we're gonna have the straw inside, we don't have to fight. You know how many times we fighting with the straw through the ice, through the cubes. It's already there, we can do on the spot. Amaro, it's got a lot of herbs and seasonality, so in this case from our garden, zero cost, we wash, it's a pine. You know, a lot of red wines, they do remind a bit of piney flavor. Again, still a season of borage. So we're going on our market, we're going on the way to work, we collect a bit of borage. Borage is free, any market, any supplying, any forest. You can collect borage in an hour, you're gonna make a bag. Borage is always also good because once you leave your borage in a container, the flowers they're just gonna go by themselves. So you see, if you get borage, you leave it for 3-4 hours, you just by shaking, you're gonna have flowers everywhere. There we go. Simple, we add color, everything from nature. Talking about a very simple drink. Again now, today, I'm not having an ordinary customer. I'm having a customer which your palate is quite developed. Because it's a soap stone, I connect soap as well. A lot of soaps now, because people they very care about the skin, they're edible. Now, I'm gonna use a soap as a garnish. Some people can taste, don't feel disgust, because now I'm biting soap, I don't feel disgust anymore because my palate get used to. But the first few bites, I was disgusted because palate was not ready to taste such a flavor. So I'm just gonna use it for decoration, but you can see, I can use this one. These soaps, they're edible. It's a goat's milk, or it can be sheep milk. This one is bergamot flavor. This one is a nutty flavor. Look, if I'll do like this, it will look like a white chocolate. Again, it could be a serve which I would do in London. I would have the customer to understand. If it doesn't work, I wouldn't do it. That's no problem at all. Something like this, will remind you a little bit more Parmesan cheese. You can grate and you will smell bergamot. This is a bergamot soap. Okay, let me add you some icing sugar. There we go. So again, the drink was very simple, sweet and sour, garnish will bring you color, flavor, and the soap again, beautiful smell on top.
It's amazing.
So we're going to move to another one. Again, we do all working behind the bar, so I'm not going to say something new. We do making 300-400 drinks per night when the bar is busy. So stirring, shaking and rolling is not always the best. So we can introduce a bit of cooking. As cooking style, we used to have in Nigeria chef, we used to do flambe. So it was beautiful to see a bit of flame happening on the floor. It was also good to distract the attention of the customer to the bar because they're going to see something else. So again, what we combine, flambe, it is something we still doing flambe behind the bar, which is blazer. So we reproduce a style of blazer for bars which they're very narrow, they have people passing behind, so you cannot flame between two jars, you can have it this way. So I add portion of gin, that's done, portion of gin. Modern flambe is happening a lot in Asia, so this one it will be based on Asian flavors. As well, by cooking and eating, we're going to introduce tea inside. So eventually it's a tea making way. We got our gin, caramel by doing flambe method. There were a lot of crepes, there were a lot of caramel, there were a lot of demerara. Caramel can be a little bit too common. So we find something different which is called pre-kaiser. Pre-kaiser, it's a type of pea from Nigeria. Now it will be very long process to explain, but countries like Africa, we can compare their cooking to our punches. On our punches, sweet, sour, spicy, weak, strong, whatever. The African cooking is the same. Leaves, vegetables, spices, olive oil, whatever they have. So this pre-kaiser here on their African soups style brings sweetness. So whatever I'm going to put here, it comes just simple from this pea. cooking with water, we adding sugar. So our caramel, it comes from this prequese. I leave some pieces, so we might gonna be prequese. It's not pimento. No, it's not allspice. Sorry, it's not pimento. It's prequese. It is an ingredient which goes very well on the Nigerian style of cooking. So again, a bit of caramel. That will be our sweetness. As any flambe, they always have overproof. In this case, we create our wine, which is based on ODB and the lychees. Lychees, they can be quite delicate as a flavor, so we introduce as well osmanthus. Do you know what's osmanthus? Osmanthus. Osmanthus flower. It's very common in your sorry. I've seen it a lot. Anyway, it's in the Balkans, they use it a lot, even in Asia. Osmanthus is a type of small flowers. They use it on a tea blends. Why? Because those osmanthus flowers reminds you the apricot and peach flavors. Which the idea to combine teas and flavors became when they create the loose bags, the commercial bags. Because not all the people, they professional to make a tea at home. So a lot of times you can get it wrong if it's 100% green tea. So by adding on the bags those little flavors, you will get a good tea at home. Anyway, osmanthus, it's a little, thank you. It's a little Asian flower which smells apricot and peach. Because a lot of flambe, they usually have peaches and apricot. We're just introducing that flavor. We have our base. We're gonna introduce a bit of lemon juice. We don't want to introduce a lot of lemon juice and sweet, as we could drop our ABV, and we need ABV to flame it. We can always compromise after a flame. So that's we have. Again, talking about cooking. So flambe, a lot of times we have to be with blowtorch, heating the process. In this case, he's eating by himself. We're talking about tea and punches. We don't want to add any bitter. We're adding leaves for bitter. So in this case, it's hop, cacao nips. It's getting nice and heat. And because we're always talking about texture, and texture it comes from even powders. In this case, I'm adding a little spoon of yogurt powder. You will see it will change the texture of the drink. If I want it more fresh, just again. So again, that is a drink we do prepare in advance. You could easily see me adding few different spices, but if I'm in my bar, I already have everything mixed. So spirit, gin, mix, cooking, sweet and sour inside the glass. Today I did it for you. Adding a little bit more sugar for you. Flames. What we're doing now, we're trying to roast. We also adding yolk. We did not add any dilution. There will be our dilution. And this one we're just putting over ice. Again, it's a technique which you can balance your knife. You don't have to shake it, you don't have to do anything. You just can pass to your colleague. They'll put straight away inside the table. Little stir. Customer, they would expect hot. It's cold. I mean, they're not frozen, but the fruits inside they would be frozen. So you would have a nice rambutan frozen, which will compromise the temperature again. You do micro herbs. much. Please have a taste. If people they would drink straight away from the cup, they would have the smell, they would have the rambutan. If the rambutans, they would have frozen. They would release the flavor even later. It's quite early for digestive, so we're thinking to do some flip, but flip the very after dinner style. So we try to introduce a style of flip, but a little bit on the sour side. So a bit of brandy. Now some countries they cannot have raw eggs behind the bar. Does Spain can have it? Can you have raw eggs? Raw.
Yes, we can.
You can have. Anyway, who cannot? We just made a syrup from egg tart. So again, it's a pastry. A lot of pastry using our ingredients to make the pastry. We reintroduce the pastry to the syrup. Again, we took inspiration from this area, Portugal, Canary Islands, south of Spain. So we got sherry, we got brandy, we got aloe vera. So it's based on aloe vera, which is bitter as well, egg tart, cardamom powder, and patchouli spirits. So this sugar, which it is a syrup, is got egg tart, blend, the bitter aloe vera, and cardamom powder and patchouli. Why we do base our syrups, why we do base our premixes on alcohol, on juices, or tonic water, on ginger beer? Because dilution is happening only with the technique. Stirring, shaking, the amount of water becomes only from the ice. Anything else, we should be very careful how we introduce dilution to the drink to keep the flavor as long as we can. So that is based on aloe vera, adding 30 ml. Lemon juice, and a little more juice. So we were looking for some people which, a lot of times we do have customer coming for something creamy, but it is still an aperitif. Still, we don't have an aperitivo back to UK, but we still have customer coming at 6 o'clock. Even if they don't know what's an aperitivo, they're still looking for a bitter, sweet, and refreshing before the dinner. So that's our job to make them happen. So lemon syrup, we got our aloe egg tart, and we're gonna go with sherry. It's bad one. We're adding a little bit more sweetness. Again, if we are thinking about preparation, syrup is very easy. If we are thinking about the execution, it is still easy as well. It's 3 ingredients inside, very, very simple. We were looking for a glass. Eventually, very simple. As we looked, it was a sherry glass. We looked at sherry glass with the Scottish flavors. We are in UK. As I'm looking for texture, I'm not gonna double strain. But eventually, our normal strainer they got double strain. So we're gonna keep the ice inside, but we're not gonna strain the texture. For some people it would be fresh and sweet, so we thought we should introduce some smokiness. Again, we have something like this. We can have a smoking gun behind the bar. We can have any tools. They got broken. They always got broken. So it's a very easy piece of cork Do you know what's cork? Yeah? So you can get cork like this, you can get cork in this way. You got a disc, we cut, we adding, again, it's a service can be done on the floor, it is a service can be done in front of the customer. As you can see, we create it because we're pushing the flame, we create a vacuum inside.
You make some holes, yeah.
That's, we do make the holes, which is very, very simple. Again, if I do this serve on the bar, I'm always thinking the customer won't get it. If I do on the bar, I'm gonna add a little cake. So they going to get the smoke. Because if I won't get the cake on top, if I won't cover it, the smoke will go away by the time it is on the table. So if I do on the table, if I do on the bar, I'll add the cake. Again, the waiter, he add the cake as well. So it's very, very simple process. If I want to change the presentation, I can have a bowl and I can add a straw inside. So customer is going to have a totally different presentation. This is going to be warm, smoky, it's going to go through the straw, same drink, different texture, different feeling. Again, something sweet, this is cream soda dust. I'm not going to add more, please have a try. Customer again. It can be 2 serves. You can actually have it out on the side and have it. You can drop inside. It's gonna soak 10-15 mils of the drink. Once it's gonna finish the drink, you can have it because it's gonna be. This is a sponge cake, so it's gonna look like a sponge. It's gonna suck a bit of the drink.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Ladies and gents, don't go away, please, for competitors downstairs.